Hello ladies and gentlemen, I'm John Furnace, and this is StarCraft 2. Spawning on the bottom right side of Coda, representing himself, it is the blue Terran, EJK. And on the top left of the map, from Imperative Gaming X, it is Sacrilege. So we start off the game with EJK singing some Taylor Swift, making it interesting. Looks like there is an observer in here too, so this is a custom game. And it's pretty good. EJK putting that early game APM to use to just put Taylor Swift lyrics. Saw he was down at 70 APM for a little while, and now back up to about 250. So both these players are Grandmaster. EJK is currently rank 10 GM on NA, and this is his 5th time in GM. Sacrilege is also GM, and he is rank 88 currently, and this is only his 2nd season in GM, getting it last season as well. So right now, this is not the best matchup for either one of these players. Sacrilege currently has a 46% win rate versus Terran this season, and EJK has a 49% win rate versus Zerg this season. Overall, beyond just this season, it's a little bit better. EJK at 53% and Sacrilege at 55%. Right now, nothing too crazy is going on. EJK did opt to go for the command center on the low ground before getting a barracks, and Sacrilege also went for that hatchery first and will go right into the spawning pool without any gas. Both players just building more workers, and EJK does have his barracks on the way. EJK is currently teamless. He was on Boreal, but left in April of this year, and is now just representing himself. Both of these players do stream as well. I'll put the link to their streams in the description if you want to go check out some high-level play. So Sacrilege is working on his gas now, so he'll be able to get that speed up quickly. And double queens on the way for Sacrilege, so he'll be able to get those injects going and get that creep spread started up. And double orbital commands on the way for EJK, so he can have that super macro that Terrans love to get. Our bunker is going down at the front of EJK's natural just to protect from any crazy Ling run-bys, but looks like Sacrilege just wants to drone up on his side of the map. And although, okay, so it looks like Sacrilege is going for the early lair as opposed to the gas. He decides he does not need speedlings, as EJK is not doing anything crazy at all. We do just now have the factory on the way and a second refinery for EJK. Still pumping out 2 SCVs at a time. And do have Zerglings from Sacrilege running around, just making sure nothing fishy is going on. Just wants to keep an eye on everything. Have a start of a wall for EJK with just because Terrans like to wall things in, keep Zerglings out whenever they can. But neither player particularly wanting to get a lot of fighting units right now. Lair does complete for Sacrilege, and he has second gas on the way as he is going for more and more drones, and he is dropping a third gas now. He is not going for a faster third base despite scouting that EJK is just playing that safe macro mode. And we do now have the armory on the way for EJK, as well as a second factory, so it looks like he might want to do some sort of Hellbat push, and if not that, then transfer into mech. And Sacrilege is throwing down the Spire, hidden kind of in the corner of his base, so it's less likely that EJK will scan. There's a nice wall off from Sacrilege as well to keep EJK back. But if this is a Hellbat push, then that Spire timing from Sacrilege can work out pretty nice and do a good job of holding out against big amounts of Hellbats. And both players still building workers. We do have those Hellions coming out from EJK, starting to run across the map. Sacrilege will see them with this Overlord, knowing that with this style there is not too much anti-air to expect early on in the game. Sacrilege does scout the double factories and does see the tech lab on the second factory. And there is a Thor on the way from Sacrilege as well. So this is a annoying style that I've run into a few times with this Hellbat and Thor push. Now that Sacrilege sees that it is mech that he will be facing, he has ranged upgrades and ground armor on the way. And his Mutalisks are starting to fly across the map, see what they can do. Currently only 4 Mutas, with 3 additional ones on the way. So he's just going to try to do any damage before any crazy anti-air is out, but EJK already has his Thor out as well as a Viking. Third hatchery is on the way for Sacrilege, but if he does not get any units over there, that's going to have to be cancelled. And he does not actually get the cancel off. It gets killed by EJK's Hellbats, which do pretty fair amount of damage. Sacrilege notices that he didn't get the cancel, and there goes the oops. +1 vehicle weapons, almost done for EJK. And the early-ish on 2 base infestation pit is on the way for Sacrilege, so he'll either want to go up to an early lair or an early hive for Vipers, or else start getting infestors out as well. Do have Mutas just poking and prodding, trying to see what they can do, but there are turrets up at both bases, additional turret going down in the middle of EJK's main. There are a fair amount of Vikings out, and 2 more coming out at a time, and those can definitely do good against low numbers of Mutas. But if the Mutas do get to snowball, they can definitely do some damage. As long as these Thors are beneath the Vikings though, and they stay together, they can definitely cause a lot of damage. Looks like EJK does want to start moving out, and he is bringing SCVs along just to help out with the repair. Crew spread is starting to head out for Sacrilege pretty well though, and he will have good vision of this as it comes. Third base still not quite up for him, just finishing right now, but he does not really have too much to deal with this. It's going to be a really scary attack right now. 54 army supply of the Terran to 42 of the Zerg. And so while Sacrilege is definitely working on better upgrades, EJK looks like he definitely wants to end it now. Spinecrawler going down very quickly, and Mutas right now cannot contest this with 2 Thors right next to 5 Vikings, and these Hellbats will do a good job of pushing back any ground. Sacrilege does run in and does get a pretty good spread on those Mutalisks, but Vikings are going down. The Thors are still up though, and only 4 Mutalisks remaining against 3 Thors and 3 Vikings. Roaches do come in behind this though and start to clean up the Hellbats, and it looks like Sacrilege should be able to hold for now without losing this base. EJK tries to focus it down with his Thor, even his little SCV joining in, but does not get it down. Behind this attack though, EJK did get a 3rd orbital command up and running and over to his 3rd base, so they are on even economy, and whenever EJK drops mules they will be better. And we actually see a Flying Locust upgrade from Sacrilege, so he might try to mix some Swarm Hosts into this, see what he can do. Is moving his Roach Force across the map, seeing if there's anything out in the open to catch, and throwing down this slightly more forward hatchery for his fourth base as opposed to going up into the corner. He will probably want to get his creep spread going again back up to here, or else that will be harder to defend. Do have Banshees and a third one on the way for EJK, looking to go into that slight air transition. We do not see any more air units coming out from Sacrilege at the moment. Hive is on the way though. And we did just have +2 missile attacks finish up for Sacrilege's ground. EJK scouts the building fourth base, sends a single Hellbat over to harass. Will go down pretty quickly. These Banshees just cleaning up some creep tumors. I do have a fifth base building for Sacrilege as well, which EJK has not scouted yet. We do have the next push out now coming for Sacrilege. Hellbats, tanks, Vikings, Banshees, Thors, all of those terribly scary mech units. And EJK actually has 10 supply lead right now with 22 army supply lead. And Sacrilege just does not have much to deal with this. He has 2 Swarm Hosts out, 2 Hydras, one of which just died, and 20 Roaches all going down very quickly to these tanks. Still transferring drones through this. Sacrilege cleans up the tanks, is going to have to pull back because he does not have any anti-air. Do have additional Hellions coming in now as well. And Vikings just wreaking havoc on these Overlords without much that he can do. Just Roaches coming out for Sacrilege right now, and now finally some Hydras, but we have double Banshee production with 2 more starports on the way for EJK, so as long as he can keep holding this air advantage, he will do good. Behind this, we did have Sacrilege throw down a bunch of Spore Crawlers, but that won't help too much out here where all of his Roaches are dying to Banshees. We do have 2-1 finished for EJK's mech army, and it looks like EJK is going to pretty much be able to just go in for the killing blow here. He has a 50 army supply lead, and he's actually ahead in workers by 6 right now, 71 SCVs, and there's the good game well played from Sacrilege.